Theron Sannai. After a long time, I can't remember what happened in our last sermon and what are the things we have discussed. But let's start with something. Let's start with how to practice the Dhamma. Because the easiest part is listening. We all can listen. We listen and listen and listen. But when it comes to practice, that's the most important thing. If you don't practice, whatever you have listened will stay with you as knowledge. Like you have knowledge, the knowledge of history, English, so on. You have knowledge. But you can't convert them to wisdom because history doesn't have any wisdom in it. But when it comes to your life, it has wisdom. First of all, you will get it as knowledge. When you have knowledge, all the time you have to use it. Use it means you have to think about it and use it. It's not automatically used because it's not wisdom. When it is wisdom, it is used automatically. Because when we perceive something, when we perceive this color, the mind always makes decisions. Without a decision, the mind can't talk about this. Therefore, to perceive something, it makes decisions. When it makes decisions, it needs knowledge or wisdom. If you have practiced this and knowledge becomes wisdom, then you don't have to think about anything. The mind doesn't have to think. When it makes decisions, it makes decisions through that knowledge, which is wisdom. That's why we need to practice the Dhamma. Otherwise, perhaps you will be like AI. Whenever you want, you try to remember something, and you take it from your memory and try to use it. But when you have wisdom, it happens automatically. Like, you all believe that this existence is false because you have heard it from the Buddha's teaching. I think you have heard it many times, more than 1,000 times. Now you believe that. But when you look at me, you see a person talks to you. That means you couldn't take that decision properly. You couldn't make it. Because you have a wrong wisdom. I put because the kind of wrong wisdom you have. You have that wrong wisdom because of that wrong wisdom. Therefore, we can't name it as wisdom, because if it is wisdom, then it can't be wrong. But it is fixed now. It is fixed into your mind. First of all, it came to you as knowledge, again, wrong knowledge. Then it came to you, and you practiced it, then it was fixed to you. Now, you have been using it for a long time. Therefore, without any doubt, when you look at me, you will see a human being. But it's wrong. I'm not a human being. Then who am I? God? Demon? A god, a demon, or an animal? I'm not a being. So as you are not a being. But the problem is, all the time when you perceive something, you always feel that you are a being and others are also. That means you always use that wrong knowledge, and that wrong knowledge is fixed into your mind. Now you always think according to that. You always make that decision according to that. Therefore, you always see human beings and you talk with them and you work with them, and you are afraid of your life because you think that you are still alive. That doesn't mean that you are dead. But however, that's how you think. Therefore, you're always afraid of your life or death. You try to protect yourself all the time. You try to protect yourself. It's okay for you to protect your body, but you try to protect yourself because you always feel, you always perceive that self, even though it's false. It's false because you know that it's false, but you don't fully convinced. That's the importance of practicing the path. If you don't practice, then you have that knowledge and you know, that's it, you know. You know that you are not a human being, but you're afraid of your life and you try to protect your life, you try to protect your children, you try to protect your family, because you think that they exist. You think that your son exists, therefore you try to protect him. And when something happened to that body or that entity, then you feel that that happened to your son, your daughter. Because of that, you suffer. Therefore, all the time you experience fear and suffering. Fear and suffering. You can't come out of that. Even though you know that this existence is false. That's why you should practice this. Otherwise, every day you will listen to this and you will know. And tomorrow again you will have another sermon. And yesterday we had a sermon in a different language, and today in a different language. If you listen now, I think we have 27 languages here. We can talk the Dhamma. Whatever you want, we can talk. And again, you will get that knowledge over and over again. But when you put it into practice, you will realize. You will be fully convinced. Therefore, when we talk about anicca, when we talk about dukkha, anatta, all these things, I want you to practice and I want you to put them into your life, into your day-to-day life. Whenever you talk, whenever you walk, whenever you do anything, just try to put that into your practice. When you put that into practice, every day you will realize this. That realization will eradicate fear and suffering and all types of vexation you have in your mind, and expectations especially. Because of the lack of understanding, you have that expectation. That expectation occurs in your mind because the mind thinks that it's an entity. When it is an entity, or if it is a being, then a being should have expectations. Because it's a being. When I talk about expectations, you know that it belongs to future. Future tense. Expect, I want, I like. All these things. That belongs to the future. Think about that. I want. What do you feel? I want. That belongs to the future. I want. That's why we always say, I want. When you say I want, in other words, you say that I don't have. You don't have, that's why you want. That means right now you don't have. That's your condition. Right now you don't have any. That's why you want. Even though you have that in your hand, now you have it. Perhaps this is on your hand, okay. But still you feel that I want. When you feel that I want, then you always feel that you don't have it. That's the issue, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever you have, but you always feel that you don't have it because you always want it, you always live with expectations. This is a curse. Even though you have everything in your life, but you feel wanting. When you just about to drink something, drink a cup of tea, but you want that. You want that. When you want that, that means you are talking about future. You are the future. Then when you talk about the future, that means you are expecting something, then you can't enjoy what you have. Thus I told you, it's a curse. No matter how much money you have, you are the poorest if you have expectations. When you have expectations, even if you have something with you, you can't enjoy it. That's why people can't enjoy their life. That's why we need the Buddha's doctrine. The Buddha's doctrine teaches us how to eradicate vexation, how to eradicate expectations. That's why it's very important. Then you will be able to use what you have happily. That means you will be able to satisfy yourself by using anything, whatever you have. Otherwise, you have to earn money by spending your life, and you will earn money by spending 30 years. After that, rest of life will be used to use them, to be satisfied, but you want. To be satisfied, you had to fulfill a few things. To be satisfied. Actually, that's an art. Otherwise, you can't drink a cup of tea and be satisfied. If you can be satisfied, you won't need it anymore. That's what happened to us. We have been using many things, but we will not be satisfied. Therefore, we use it over and over again, and we expect a different result. According to Professor Albert Einstein, it is madness, because we expect a different result, but we do the same thing over and over again. Then you drink a cup of tea, and it's not good enough, therefore you take another one, take another one, take another one, then you will take it over and over again. But you still expect the same result. I can prove that. I can prove that actually this is nothing but madness. But people have only this chance, because people don't have that knowledge, that wisdom, or I would say people are not meritorious to understand this. How to be satisfied with what you have. Actually, that's the Buddha's doctrine. The Buddha's doctrine teaches us how to be satisfied with what we have. Then, if you If you will be able to satisfied with what you have, then you don't have to earn. But if you don't know that art, you have to earn. When you have to earn, that means you have to spend time. But time is an illusion. Therefore, we always have to spend our life. Then your life won't be enough. Therefore, you have to come back. Then again, you will come back. And what will you do? You will do the same thing. Not only you, ladies and gentlemen, but animals also. The animals as well. Animals also do the same thing because they don't have a path. They don't know how to live. So as human beings, they don't know how to live. They don't know how to earn, but they don't know how to live. Try to understand this. If you can learn this art and put it into practice, then you will experience happiness. Actually, that's not happiness. I don't want to use that word. Mental serenity. That's the word you're looking for. Mental serenity. Or we can say eternal happiness. But when we use that word, that's why I told you that I don't want to use that word, because when we use that word, we think that when you experience pleasure, then you think that that's similar. Happiness and pleasure are similar. Therefore, by practicing something, you try to experience pleasure forever. Then you think that that's Nibbana. Then you think that when you become an arahant, then you will feel, you have experienced pleasure. Then when you experience pleasure, you feel joy. Then you think that, but again, these words, joy, you have experienced this, but you have experienced this when you come out of vexation. Whenever you come out of vexation, you feel you feel pleasure, you feel joy, you feel whatever you talk about, happiness. All these things you have experienced so far, but these things you experience just after coming out of vexation. Then, when you talk about eternal happiness, then you expect that happiness to stay forever. But normally, when that happiness comes, which means that pleasure comes, it fades away within a second. It's only a flash in the pan. It fades away within a second. Then sometimes some people think that by practicing the path or whatever, when they follow something, they expect that pleasure to stay forever. And that's wrong. You can't do that. Actually, you are looking for mental serenity. That means whatever you experience, your mind is placid. It is not shaken. Anyway, your mind is placid. Your mind is serene. But because of the defilement, the mind experiences turbulence. Otherwise, it's placid. You don't have to pacify it. It is placid. But when you have a serene mind, then you won't be shaken in front of anything. Then you won't be suffering in front of lustful things. And sensual desires. But if your mind is defiled, and if it is shaken, in front of those things, then you don't have a serene mind, and you always try to come out of that vexation. That's your life. You always try to come out of vexation. Because your mind is always vexed. Your mind is always vexed because it is not serene. Then you are looking for a serene mind. That's called eternal happiness. Therefore, please don't expect something eternal happiness to occur. It never happens. Let's eradicate all the defilements. When you eradicate all the defilements, your mind will be serene. That's what we need. Let's make a serene mind. In order to do so, we need practicing. We just need to learn, understand, and put into practice. We need to understand the universe. When I say universe, you need to understand yourself, because you are the universe. If you try to find universe in trees and waterfalls, you won't find it fully. You are the universe. If you want to understand the universe, you need to understand yourself. Everything about yourself. That's the only thing you can experience. You can't experience trees, ladies and gentlemen. You can't experience waterfalls. You only experience yourself. That means you only experience what you can experience. Colors. You experience colors. When you experience colors, that's you. But you think that you experience colors. When you experience colors, that's you. You can't experience colors. That experience occurs. When you experience smell, a smell, whatever it is, then that's you. That's the issue. If you don't like some smells, actually you don't like your life. That's the problem. You don't like your life. That's why I told you, the Buddha taught us about the art of living. Most people hate their lives. When a bad smell comes, then you plug your nose by saying that, blaming that smell. Actually, you are not blaming that smell. That smell is created in your mind. When I say in your mind, actually forget that your part. When I talk, I had to use that word, your. Otherwise, there is no such thing called your or mine. This experience occurs. The mind is created. When the mind is created, that experience occurs. No one is there to experience that. That perception occurs. Therefore, when you see a color, that color is created and it is perceived. The color is created and it is perceived. That's you. Do you see any uniqueness? Look at this, please. As you all know, we have discussed these things before. As you all know, this color is not in the pen. This is only a pigment. We all know this now. This is only a pigment. or die. No one can see this. But the color is created in your mind. When the color is created in the mind, that is the first thing. The Buddha said that is called rupa. Then after that, the process starts and it comes to vijnana, which means perception. That means you can see the rupa must be created, the form must be created, and it comes to perception. That is called the mind. Now you can see this is a process. The Buddha said, Arambana, Vijnana, Lakkana, Chitta. Chitta means the mind. Now first of all, this form is created. That form is not this form. These are the things that are made up of 4 basic elements. So you can say 5 basic elements. Actually, easily we can say this is energy. And you all know that energy can't be perceived. Energy can't be seen. But you can see a color. You can see a color. That means the color is created in the mind. When the color is created in the mind, it is perceived. Therefore, when you all see this, the color is created and it is perceived. Do you see any uniqueness? There, the color is created and it is perceived. Here, the color is created and it is perceived. Here, the color is created and it is perceived. That's the only thing that occurs. Then how can you say that you have perceived something? Unless you are mad. But you feel that. You feel that you have seen it. You feel that you have perceived it. But my question is, how do you say that? The only thing you can say is, that's how I feel. Then sometimes you feel that you are the queen. Then sometimes you feel that you are mad and you feel that you feel so many things. Whatever you feel, what do you think? You feel and then it can't be correct all the time. It is not correct all the time. But you feel this. Therefore you think that this is special. That's why you always talk about yourself, because you feel that entity. You feel that you experience this. But when it comes to reality, that's why I want you to come to the reality and see these things. Now here, if colors are not here, then if colors are created in your mind means if the colors are created, and the process of the mind begins, and it comes to perception, and it is perceived. Whatever is created here, it is perceived here. If this happens, now you can see this is not a unique process. This happens everywhere. If the body is still alive, that means if the body has a capacity to bear a mind, then this process occurs. This is not unique. All the bodies here, they are capable of creating a mind. Therefore, now, wherever we see, this process occurs. Then I had to say in your body, but it's not your body. There is a body, and that's a good environment, the mind to be created. Therefore, that body is used, and the process of the mind occurs. That's not unique. That's only a process. But you always feel that you see something. That's a different story. When it comes to reality, we need to only talk about this, because this happens. When you see this, this happens. The color is created and it is perceived. This happens. A sound is created and it is perceived, because I can't create any sound. I only create a vibration. From my throat, only a vibration comes out. This is not my voice, because I don't have a voice. Why? Because there is no such thing called I to have a voice. This is a machine. Now you can see these fans are rotating very fast and it creates a sound. And who is in it? A fan being? If I am a human being, then there should be a fan being. That fan being creates a voice, because that's its voice. But we know that it's noise. It's a noise, and that noise is created in your mind. It is not created in the fan. A vibration is created there, or vibration occurs. Because of that vibration, the sound is created in your mind. Again, I had said in your mind. But remove that part. Because of that vibration, a form is created, which means a sound is created. A sound is created, then it is perceived. A sound is created, it is perceived. A color is created, and it is perceived. A smell is created, it is perceived. You can't find any smell in this world. And taste is created. A taste is created and it is perceived. A touch is created and it is perceived. Whose touch? Whose smell? Whose taste? But we always talk about, oh, I feel. You always talk about yourself when you experience something. That's a problem. Whenever you experience something, you always feel that you experience it. But actually, an experience occurs, ladies and gentlemen. Then why do you talk about yourself? You always feel that there is a flower here and you are looking at it. Like here, there is a flower here and you are looking at it. Are you looking at me? No, you are not looking at me. These colors are created in your mind. You are looking at your own mind. But that is also wrong. You are not looking at your mind. The mind is created. That's the only thing that occurs, ladies and gentlemen. That perception occurs. But you always feel that you are there and I'm here and there is a distance between us. Yes, because of light rays. Because of light rays we can feel the depth. Otherwise you can't feel that. You always experience something. Therefore, actually we can't say we are looking at something or we see something. Actually, the correct word is we perceive things. Because the mind always perceives things. The mind can't do any other thing. Mind can't see, mind can't taste, mind can't hear. The mind only can perceive. That is called mind. But you always feel an object and a subject. An object and a subject, then the subject always do something with the object. Actually, there is no such thing called an object, or there is no such thing called a subject. A perception occurs. That's it. Therefore, you are not looking at anything. This is created. This color is created and it is perceived. That is called the mind. The Buddha said clearly, Arammana vijanana lakkanam citta. This is the Arammana. But when I put that into the English language, perhaps we had used the object. That object is created. But I can't use that. That is not the object. Because this process is the same. We can't say that the object is created and it is perceived. The object is here. Now you can see. Then you think that this is the object. Therefore, you always experience different objects. This, and this. Because you perceive colors. With those colors, you perceive shapes. Now here you can see this is a shape. How do you know? Now you can see a triangle. How do you know that is a triangle? Because it has a shape. You can see that shape because you can see this color and this color. There are two colors, therefore you can see a shape. I didn't create any triangle. I didn't draw any triangle. I just draw some. I just add some pigments onto this board. When I add some pigments onto this board, then due to these pigments, a color is created, then two colors are created. Now you can see boundaries. Therefore, the mind perceives shapes. Therefore, now you think that this is a triangle. Not only that, now you feel that you experience or you see a triangle. Therefore, now you can see, now a triangle is here, you are there, and from there you are looking at this. This is how you always feel. When you see me, you think that I'm here and you are there and you are listening to me and you can see me. If everything is created in your mind, how can you see that? How can you think that you are there and I'm here and you are looking at me? If these colors, because actually, ladies and gentlemen, we know that we always talk about six senses. Six senses. That means whatever we sense, there are six types of senses. That means actually we sense them. If you sense something, can it be in outside? If you sense something, that sensation should be in your mind. Therefore, all the colors, all the sounds, they are your senses. You sense them. Then if you sense something, how do you say that it is in the outside world? The reason is you always feel your existence. Therefore, you think that others also exist. You experience your existence. You think that you exist. Then when you think that you exist, then subject is created or subject is born now. When the subject is born right now. You can't say that I was born. You have to say I am born. I am born. You have to say that. Because that happens right now. You experience your existence right now, not yesterday. Can you experience something yesterday? Can you experience something yesterday? Can you walk yesterday? Can you run yesterday or tomorrow? No. Therefore, whatever you experience, it happens right now. Therefore, if you experience a color, it happens right now. If you experience your existence, it happens right now. Can you think in the past? Can you think in the future? No, you can't think, you can't walk, you can't do anything, you can't talk, can you? Can you talk? No. Then if you can't talk in the past, if you can't walk in the past or in the future, then everything happens right now. Right now means, I'm not talking about the present. But for the time being, we can use that. But if I talk about the present, then you will create a being who lives in the present. There is no such thing called a being. This is a process. This is only a process. That is called Paramatma in Hinduism. And in Christianity, this is called the kingdom of heaven. But you always feel that you are a human being. Or you always feel that you are an Atma. Or you always experience separateness. How many Paramatmas are there, madam? How many Paramatmas? Only one. How many nature? When it comes to Buddhism, you can talk about nature. That's why we don't have any religion. We only talk about the truth. That's it. We follow all the religions, all the religious leaders. Because they have told the truth. We just need to use them. How many kingdom of heavens and gods are there? Only one God. Only one kingdom of heaven. Only one Paramatma. You are Paramatma. If I say you are Paramatma, then what about my husband? He is Paramatma's husband. He is the Paramatma's husband. No, he is Paramatma. Which means, he is nature. You are nature. How many nature? We can't say how many nature. There's only one. But when you feel your false sense of existence, then you experience others as well. That experience also occurs in your mind. That's why I told you, this is a logic. This is a great logic. You can see, try to understand this. If you sense something, that's only a sensation. If you sense something, that can't be on outside. Because that should be in your sense. And that happens right now because the mind is created right now. Whatever you do right now. You can't do it tomorrow, you can't do it yesterday. Whatever happens, that happens right now. The mind is created right now. Therefore, whatever you experience, that happens right now. Then you experience this color, that happens right now. At the same time, you experience your existence, that happens right now. Or at the same time, you can experience others' existence. That also happens right now. That's the reason that you can't think about your son and your daughter at the same time. Can you? If you can, then see and perceive these two at the same time. You can't, but you feel that, I can see both of them. But you can't. And see this and listen to this, and you can't do it at the same time. But you feel that you do that because you think that you are a human being, and you feel or you experience that you are doing both. You are doing both, or you are taking both senses at the same time. But when you see something, you can't hear, because In order to see something, this process must happen. When this happens, you can perceive only one. Because how do we perceive something? First of all, this must be created. That means a color or a sound, a taste, a touch, whatever, or a thought also. When you think, a thought is created first. When a thought is created, it is perceived. But how can you take a thought? You take it from your memory. Your memory has some data. Then you take that data from your memory. You means actually the mind takes some data from your memory. From your memory means that its memory, and put it into the mind. Then a thought is created. That is called Dhammarambana. But these words are Pali terms. If you can understand, take it. Otherwise, leave it. A thought is created first. A thought is created by using the memory, and it is perceived. Let's think about your yesterday. Take one point. But you took some data from your memory. Then you took that data and you apply it into the mind. When you apply that into the mind, then a thought is created. After that, that thought is perceived. Therefore, you can't find even a thought in this world. That is also in your mind. But I'm not saying that nothing is in this world. This exists, but this is not something different to others. This is made up of energy. Or again, I can't say this is made up of energy. I would say this is a lump of energy. What about this? The same, because they are made up of, these two are made up of atoms, electrons, protons, neutrons. Then those subatomic particles are made up of energy. Energy. E equals mc squared. Energy. Now you can see, energy and mass has a straight connection. They have a straight connection. Energy and mass. Therefore, when you talk about an electron, it's only a lump of energy. Therefore, now this is a lump of energy, and this is also the same, this is also the same, this is also the same, this is also the same. But you can see different objects. You can see different objects because when you see this, you see blue color. That happens in your mind, not in the real world. Because this color is created in your mind, not here. Therefore, this is only some energy. And this is also we can say that this is plastic. What about this? Plastic. Let's remove these two colors. And can't you say that these two are the same? Because these two are plastic. Plastic. I can't say that this pen is made up of plastic. Okay, then I'll remove plastic. Then what will remain? If you say that this pen is made up of plastic, then I'm going to remove all the plastic here. Then what will remain? Then how can you say that this pen is made up of plastic? Well, we have to say that this is plastic. This is just plastic. Then we can't say that this is made up of energy. Because if we remove all the energy, what will remain? Nothing. Therefore, we can say that this is a lump of energy. This is just condensed energy. Actually, mass is condensed energy. If mass is condensed energy, you can see here, mass exists. That's why I told you, I'm not saying that nothing is here. Some mass is here. This is some energy. Energy is there. And this is energy, this is energy, this is energy, this is also energy. And this is also energy. Whatever in the world is energy. But when you see this color is created and it is perceived. But that happens in your mind. That doesn't belong to the world. But the mind uses this pigment. That pigment is also energy, ladies and gentlemen, because we can draw its chemical structure. It has carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, or something like that. This is cyan. Blue color. Then it has a chemical structure. Then we can find something in the periodic table. That means they are made up of subatomic particles. Are subatomic particles different? No, they are universal. Can you find unique electron? No. All the electrons are universal. All the protons are universal. All the neutrons are universal. Then when it comes to, look, let's compare one electron and one proton. When we compare these two, we can say that this is an electron and this is a proton. But actually, both of them are energy. That's why it says this one is times the mass. Proton's mass is this much, or this many times the mass of electrons. Now we are talking about the same mass then. That means one electron and a proton, if you take, then both of them are the same, because they are energy. Therefore, whatever you see in this world, not see actually, whatever in the world, you can't see them. Whatever in the world is energy. That's it. Energy. Your body is energy. Then your body is not different to someone else's body. It is the same. How do we know that? Because we eat the same thing. Do you eat anything feminine and masculine, others? Do you have two rice pots? One for feminine and other is for masculine? No. We eat the same thing. And what about your pet? The same thing. Therefore, if you eat your pet, your body grows. And if your pet eats you, its body grows. That is the same thing. But we always feel uniqueness. We always experience uniqueness due to ignorance and attachment. Due to ignorance, I would say. If you don't know the truth, then the mind is deceived. That's why I told you, you have to convince your mind to the fullest. Then it will convert into wisdom. Otherwise, you will have knowledge. When you have knowledge, you know, but you are always deceived. When it becomes wisdom, now it is used whenever the mind is created. Otherwise, the mind is created. After that, the mind uses that knowledge. Therefore, you always know, but you always are afraid of things. That means fear is created in the mind. Fear manifests. Vexation manifests. Because you have only knowledge. You know, but you can't use it. If you can keep practicing this, then you will realize this fully. When you realize this fully, then that knowledge will become wisdom, and it is used when the mind is created. Now here you can see, when a color is created, it is perceived. And this is the mind, and this is your life. This is you. Then what's your name? This is you. At the same time, due to ignorance and attachment, the ego is created. This is the separate entity that you experience. This is false. This happens only in your mind. You can't find any person in this world. You can't find any animal in this world. When I say that, I'm pretty sure that you won't take anything, because you can't find any animal in this world. Then how can you take it? Because you have seen many dogs when you come here. When you came here, you saw many dogs. Then you think that they are dogs. But in the future, when you understand this fully, then you will realize that they are not dogs. And you are not a human being. There is a body. There's a body. With the help of that body, the process of the mind occurs. If the mind is defiled, the ego manifests. Therefore, the mind thinks that it's a different being. Therefore, this concept of being is created in the mind. Therefore, you are the only entity that knows that you are a being. No one knows. Because only you feel your existence. Do you really think that I feel your existence? How can I experience your existence? Okay, prove me that you are still alive. Prove. You can say, look, I can move my arms. Oh, we can fix this body into a machine and we can do that. Prove that you are a separate entity. But you always feel your existence. That's why you always talk about yourself. You always talk about yourself and you say, I did that, I will do that, and I'm thinking, and all these things. You always talk about yourself. Okay, prove that. Prove that. You can't prove, because you are the only person, not a person actually, you are the only entity that feels this existence. That's why individually we all feel that, we all feel our existence. This existence happens in this mind, due to ignorance and attachment. Due to ignorance and attachment, the ego is created, the ego manifests. When the ego manifests, then the mind thinks that it's a separate entity. Therefore, whatever the perception that occurred, the mind thinks that it happened to the mind. That's why you always feel that when this sound is created in your mind and it is perceived, then you feel that that happened to you. If I say that nothing happened to you until today, would you believe it? Nothing happened to you. Because there haven't been anything such as a being. The mind occurred. This process is the only thing that occurred. Because of ignorance and attachment, the ego is created, and here you can see one process occurs, and due to this the ego occurs. This is one, we would say this is one unit. After that again this process occurs and the ego occurs. Therefore, here you see a color is created and it is perceived. At the same time, due to ignorance, the ego occurs, or the ego manifests. Therefore, the mind thinks that it's a separate entity that perceives a color. Or you can say that I perceived a color. Then it comes to the next mind. Then you can say that I perceived a sound. Because I is created here. The ego, that separateness. The ego is nothing but separateness. You always talk about uniqueness when you say I. When you talk about yourself, you want to separate yourself from others. That's why you use this word, I. Now here you can see, this is one unit, or this is one mind, and this is the second mind, and third mind, fourth mind. Then mind is not continuous, it is discrete. You can quantify mind, and this one process is created and the other process is created. Likewise, the process of the mind manifests all the time. At the same time, the ego is also created. Therefore, the mind feels or experiences separateness. Therefore, whatever experience that occurs, you feel it separately. But when it comes to the reality, you all know that this blue color, wherever the body is, the blue color is created and it is perceived. It doesn't have any difference. It is the same thing occurred. But here, if we have like 100, 200 people, then everybody thinks that they have seen this. Because of the ego. That's why we always need to focus on the reality. The reality is, this process occurs all the time. If the mind is defiled, the ego is also created. This is ego, this is the false sense of existence. This is not the existence, ladies and gentlemen. This is the false sense of existence. It's a false sense. It occurs due to ignorance and attachment. When you eradicate ignorance and attachment by achieving wisdom, then you won't experience the ego anymore. Then if you won't experience the ego, you will not you actually again, but remove that word. I always use that because I want you to understand this. You always experience The ego, due to ignorance and attachment, when we remove ignorance and attachment, the ego won't be felt. That means only the process of the mind exists at that time. Then the mind exits, the mind exits, the mind exits, the mind exits. That means that process exits. It's like it's raining here, it's raining in Colombo, it's raining in somewhere in India, somewhere in America. It's raining, it's raining, it's raining, it's raining. Whose raining is there? Can we say that, oh, this is Sri Lankan raining and this is American raining? No, it's raining. It's an incident. That incident occurs, any incident that occurs, but we can't separate them. Rain is rain. We can't separate them. This is also the same. A sound is created and it is perceived. It's a process. It's not a human being. Please try to understand that, because if you think that you are a human being, that means actually you feel the ego. When you feel the ego, it's a disaster. It's a disaster, because when you feel the ego, then you will be egocentric and you will destroy your life to show off. I think I don't have to talk about the ego, because you all know that. You have experienced that, that's your life. In your day-to-day life, you always experience that, and you have destroyed your life so far because of this, because of the ego. You had wantings. To fulfill those wantings, you had to earn money. In order to earn money, you wanted a job. Therefore, you went to school, you learned, and you got your PhD. By 27, 28 years old, after that, you found a job, and now you have money, but you don't have life. Because you spent a lot. But you couldn't learn how to live, the art of living. You couldn't learn that. Therefore, still, whatever you have, you can't experience it fully because of vexation. Because you feel expectation. But remember this, ladies and gentlemen, expectation is felt only to the ego, not to the mind. The mind is pure. This is the kingdom of heaven, or the Paramatma. This is the most sacred thing in the world. This is the kingdom of heaven. If you want to go to kingdom of heaven, this is it. Go. How? How can we go? How can we enter the kingdom of heaven? Then listen to Jesus Christ. He said that the kingdom of heaven is within you. Then enter. It's within you. You enter. How can we enter that? We can eradicate this ignorance and attachment. If we can eradicate ignorance and attachment, we won't feel this uniqueness anymore. Then that means you won't feel that you are an entity. Then when you won't feel that entity, then you don't have to protect anything. Then you won't have a future. If you are an entity, try to understand that also. If you are an entity, you have 3 times: the past, the present, and the future. That's called an entity. But I told you, you can't walk in the past. You can't walk in the future. Then if you can't do anything, if you can't make any action, then how do you believe in the past and the future? Then how do you think that you are an entity if you can't do anything in the past? Everything occurs in the present. There is no such thing called past and the future, and the present as well. When the causes are there, an effect manifests. That's the only thing that exists in the world. When causes are there, an effect manifests. The Buddha said, Hetum paticca sambhuta. When causes are there, an effect manifests. When the causes are there, an effect manifests. Let me help you to manifest that. When the causes are there, because light is there, this pigment is there, your eyes are okay, and your nervous system is okay, and your brain is okay, and we have all the causes. When all the causes come together, an effect is created. That effect is blue color. When the blue color is created, that is perceived. This perception is also an effect. This perception is also an effect. In order to understand this, please answer this question. I'll show this and tell me, where does this blue color come from? Whenever you see this, you see blue color. And we know that this blue color is not in the pen. But you can see blue color. You can see blue. Okay, now tell me, where did it come from? When you see that, it appears. Now you can't. It manifests and stops suddenly. Then what happened to that? Then can you say that it went to the past? Okay, then go to the past and find it. Actually, find your yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. Please go and find your yesterday. Can you find your yesterday? No. Because there is no such thing called yesterday. But you can take those things from your memory. Memory belongs to the mind, not to the world. Therefore, whatever you have experienced yesterday, actually that happened in the mind, not in the world. In the world, energy was there. But colors? That happens in your mind. That's why you see a difference between all these things. But all these things are the same. They are energy. And colors are perceived. That happens in the mind. Don't put that color into this object. If you put that into object, then you will see two different objects. The color is created in your mind and you put into this object, then you will see a different object. It's wrong. That color belongs to the mind, not to this object. Then when you see a face, a human face, then first you think that it's white, fair. Do you really think that it's fair? What about your face? What about your face? Is it fair or what? Fair or dark or black or what? Nothing. You experience your own mind. You experience your own mind and you put that experience onto that object and you think that that girl is so beautiful. That boy is so handsome. Then you create your own world. The ego creates its own world and it lives there. The ego is the drama queen. It creates all the dramas. It cries. It smiles. It acts. Whatever you experience, that happens in your mind. If that happens in your mind, just imagine that. Have you seen your husband? Have you seen your wife? But still you believe that. You live with others. The ego. The ego thinks that it lives with others. Then when you feel that you live with others, you always expect something from others. Because the ego always expects things. Because it has to expect, because it thinks that it lives in 3 times. Therefore, the ego has to expect. That's how expectation is created. But in the mind, you can't have any expectation. Because, as I told you, expectation belongs to the ego, not to the mind. Because when it comes to the mind, it is a process. When it's a process, when causes come together, an effect manifests. That's the principle around a process. The theory of cause and effect. Then let's apply the theory of cause and effect to this. When I write 10, did I write 10? I only wrote 1 and 0. When I wrote 1 and 0, 10 manifests. That's how it is. Can you understand that bit? Okay. Now tell me, when I write 10, I'm going to write now. Okay? Where's 10 now? I'm going to write 10. Where's it? Where's it? Here? Somewhere here? Check your pockets. Here somewhere? No. Where's it now? Now it should be somewhere closer to this. Because when I write 0, it should come, it should jump onto this from somewhere. No. Now you can see. What about now? No. That means 10 is not waiting for this. Because 10 doesn't exist yet. If it doesn't exist, how can it have an expectation about itself? When 10 manifests, if 10 is somewhere, now it can think about it. Oh, please, God, please, please. People always ask, please, God. Because people believe in God, but I don't want to change your any views, ladies and gentlemen. If you believe in God, please go ahead with that. But people believe in God because they believe their existence. God is future. Hope, expectations. If you strongly believe your existence, you need God. Because you exist and you have expectations, hope, then God will help you one day. Again, let's go back to this. Now, 10, it's not somewhere here. Therefore, it can't, can it pray to God, oh please, please, make me so beautiful. Can it say, make me some thicker? Can it? No, because it doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist, how can it pray? Please try to understand the reality, ladies and gentlemen. Then you can live happily. Why do you have expectations and expect God to help you if you can eradicate expectations and live freely? And people like to have expectations and have hopes and expect something from God. Then if you don't have any expectation, do you want God? Then why don't you do that? Then you don't have to argue with other people whether God exists or not, if you don't want. Otherwise, people have to create God. God has created people. Is that correct? Perhaps it's wrong. People have created God, not only one, but many. Because they have expectations, not they, the ego. The ego has expectations. Therefore, the ego wants to believe someone will come and rescue it. That's why you always have that expectation, someone will come and rescue it. Actually, who will come? He will come from the future. Because you all believe that no one is rescuing you right now. Do you feel that? Do you feel your God or supernatural powers is rescuing you right now? No. Right now nothing happened. Right now you suffer. Right now you suffer, and you strongly believe that the future will come and rescue me. That's why I told you, God is the future. But actually, God is the truth. But people have created God. People have created God. That God is the future. Because he or she or whoever, that will come from the future. Because right now, you only experience suffering, vexation. And you try to do something. You have to do something to come out of vexation. God never helped you. But you strongly believe that in the future, God will help you. When will you experience future? You never experience that. Because future is one step ahead you all the time. There is no such thing called future, ladies and gentlemen. Then if you expect someone who will come and rescue you, that never happened. The ego has created that. To reduce its vexation. Then you always have that hope. Today you are so poor, and you can hope tomorrow you will be rich. It's a good business, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good business. If you don't know the truth, actually you will be deceived, and you have been deceived. You have been deceived so far, and you will be deceived if you don't know the truth. If you can understand the truth, then you will only believe in the theory of cause and effect. For the time being, I would say the present. If you believe in the present, then you won't have any expectation, because you are not here to expect anything. This 10 is not here to expect. Then right now, tell me, where are you when I show this? Where are you? Show me. Show yourself. Don't show your face, okay? I ask you to show your face, not show yourself. Where are you? Then I'm going to show this. When the mind is created, Where were you? I want you to understand about expectation, ladies and gentlemen. Then you will realize that expectation exists in the ego, not in the mind. Try to understand this bit. When I show this blue color is created in your mind. Yeah? That's how the mind is created and it is perceived. This is the process of the mind. Okay, now tell me, when this process occurs, where were you? If you were somewhere, then you would tell that, please, this blue color must be this type and that type. But you can't have anything. Whatever I show you, you will see and perceive. Then how can you have an expectation? It happens due to ignorance and attachment. Because when the ego is created or when the ego manifests, the ego has that expectation, not the mind. Therefore, we can eradicate expectation. Then you don't have to create a temple. You don't have to create a god and a temple and go and worship all the time. If you can eradicate expectation. You can, because expectation is created not in the pure mind, it is created in the defiled mind. It's a defilement. It's not a part of the pure mind, it is a defilement. We can eradicate that. Ignorance is a defilement, attachment is a defilement, and expectation, hope, all these things, they are defilements. Whatever happens, that happens right now. Therefore, you are not here waiting for something to occur. Did you get that, ladies and gentlemen? That's why if you can understand this and apply this into your life, you will be free. That's why Jesus Christ once said, the truth will set you free. But when he said that, you should understand this as well. The truth will set you free. That means you are in a jail right now. Because the truth will set you free. You are in a prison because of your own mind, own defilements. That's why you can't come out of that. You can't come out of that, and you are stuck. The prison that is created by time. Can you come out of your past? Oh, he did that to me. You hold a grudge against people. He did that to me. People are suffering. People are suffering right now because of their past actions or past incidents. That's the jail. That's the prison. And people are afraid of their future. What will happen to me? What will happen to my family? What will happen to my children? What will happen to my job? They always think about that. But in the present, this beautiful color is created. But people don't know how to see beauty. That's the reason, ladies and gentlemen, that's the reason you hate your face. You don't like your face, yeah? Do you? Do you like your face? I'm pretty sure that you don't like your face, that's why you apply or you wear makeup. You don't like your face. When you see your face, oh, what is this? Let me apply something. Oh, no, it's nice. That means you can't be satisfied with what you have. The only reason is you can't be satisfied with what you have because you don't know how to see beauty. Otherwise, everyone is beautiful in this world. Because this is the only thing that you can experience. If you don't have two things to compare, then can you use comparative and superlative? Let's assume that you have only one color in the world. This is only one color, that is blue. Tell me what is your favorite color? I'm waiting. I know it's so hard, you had to think. If only blue color exists in the world, then what's your favorite color? Then we can't talk about that favoration. We can't talk about any preparation, because that's the only thing you have. If that is the only thing you have, please try to understand these things, ladies and gentlemen. If this is the only thing you have, then you will experience this to the fullest. But if you have some other things also, you will choose. When you choose, you won't be able to experience this. If you believe in the present, how many colors do you perceive? In the present, only one. That means only one color that exists in your world. But you can't see beauty, because in your mind you have, not you, actually the ego. The ego has its favorite color. That favorite color is called wanting. When you have a favorite color, that's your desire. When you have a desire, you have a wanting. Therefore, when you see this, the ego wants to perceive its favorite color. How foolish it is. Try to imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. When it perceives this, its wanting is different. Therefore, it expects its favorite color when it sees. Therefore, because of that expectation, vexation occurs. Due to vexation, you can't see beauty of this color. That's how you can't see beauty of your face. Actually, when you apply makeup until you are satisfied. Yeah? Apply this and that, and sometimes you rub it, you wash it again apply, and oh, this line is not good, then you again do that. Perhaps at the beginning I think you took like 5-6 hours, and now I think you can do it within like half an hour or 1 hour. If you can be a good makeup artist, then you can finish it within like 10 minutes. Somehow you apply until you are satisfied. That means it comes to a satisfaction. It's not a satisfaction, but it comes to your wanting. You know that, oh, this face is so ugly. I'm not saying that. I'm telling you that you are so beautiful and you are so handsome. Because I'm okay with this face. Come to me with this face. I won't say that, oh, you're so ugly. Go and apply something and come. I never asked, did I? No, because you are so beautiful. Because I learned from the Buddha and great teachers. I learned that how to see beauty. Therefore, I'm okay with your face. Then when you come to me, you don't have to apply anything. But when you come to yourself, apply as much as possible. Otherwise, you will see a devil. Just imagine, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't like your own face, how can you love others? How can you like others? How can you see beauty? Then if you learn how to see beauty, then you don't have to change you don't have to make any style. Whatever it is, you will be satisfied. But the ego can't be satisfied, because the ego lives with expectations, because the ego has desires, the ego has preparations. It prefers something. That's why the Buddha asked us to eradicate this. To eradicate this, we just need to understand the truth. That's why Jesus Christ said, the truth will set you free. This is the jail you are in. This jail has very strong fence around it. That is not made up of iron. It is made up of time. Can you break it? You can break iron easily, ladies and gentlemen. You can cut it. You can cut and it will rust and it will decay and you will be released one day. But if the jail is covered and protected by the time, what will happen? You'll never be released. You will stay there, because future, you tell me, when does future end? And when will you come out from the jail which is protected by time? There is only one way. You can't spend and come out. Because whenever you spend, please understand this, whenever you spend, that's the present. Then the future is ahead of you. You can't come out. There is only one way, that is to understand that. There is no such thing called the past and the future and the present. Everything happens according to the theory of cause and effect. When causes are there, an effect manifests. If you understand that, that is the reality I showed you. 10 was not there when we draw this. Let me complete it. Otherwise, it was waiting. It has been waiting now, I think, for 30 minutes perhaps. Let me help him. Okay. Now, can it say that, oh, it's so ugly? Can it say that? No. It is born. I can't say it was born. It is born. When causes are there, it is born. When causes are not there, therefore we can't say born actually. When causes are there, it manifests. When causes are not there, it doesn't manifest. That's it. When causes are there, the sound manifests. If causes are not there, it doesn't. No one was waiting for that. Then perhaps you say that, no, I was waiting. Okay, if you were waiting, what did you feel? Let's think that you have been there. This is you. Okay? But in order to sense something, you need the mind to be created. Or without the mind, can you perceive something? Are you sure? Can you perceive something? There are six senses, and those six senses occur due to the mind. Therefore, the mind should be created first of all. Otherwise, you can't understand anything. Are you with me? Try to understand the logic. That's it. Now, let's assume that this is you, and you have been there, but the mind is created, the mind is created. Okay. Now tell me, when this mind is created and you were here, what did you feel? What did you perceive? When the mind is created, blue color is created. Okay. Now you perceive blue color. But what I'm asking is, what happened during this time? If you were there, you couldn't feel anything, you couldn't perceive anything. That means without a mind, even though you exist, or even if you exist, what would you feel? What would you perceive? You don't perceive anything. When the mind is created, the perception occurs, ladies and gentlemen. Then my question is, this mind is created to whom? To whom the mind is created? If you were there, you would feel something. You would perceive something. You couldn't perceive anything. That means you were not there, ladies and gentlemen, because of causes. This process occurs or manifests. That's why the only theory we can apply to this world is the theory of cause and effect. That's why we always say that that is the theory of everything. Whatever, wherever, you can apply that. You can apply that to anything. Because everything is a process, everything is an incident. This is an incident. That incident occurs due to causes. When causes are there, this occurs. When causes are not there, it doesn't. That's it. Therefore, we can't say that this mind is created to someone. If someone was there, tell me who is that? Okay, let's ask from him. Not when the mind is created. Let's ask from him, who are you? Can it answer? No. Let's assume that. Let's assume that Atma is there. The soul is there. If soul is there, let your soul talk without the mind. Let your soul perceive something without the mind. Can't. Let your soul suffer without the mind. Can't. Let your soul be happy without the mind. Then, even if your soul exists, it can't perceive anything without the mind. Therefore, when you experience good or bad, it happens due to the mind. Therefore, we just need to purify the mind, ladies and gentlemen, not any other thing. This problem, this issue is in our mind. Therefore, we don't have to consider about the other thing. The only issue is this. That's why the Buddha said, this happens, this occurs or this manifests due to causes. When causes are there, an effect manifests. When causes are not there, it doesn't manifest. No one is there to witness that. This mind manifested. This manifested and something perceived. After that, it passes away. It passed away and another one manifest. In between that, no one is there. No one was there. It's like raining. Raining occurred 5 minutes ago. Now also it's raining. Now tell me, in between that, Who was waiting for that? There were two incidents. One incident occurred, and the other occurs right now. In between that, who is there? Then to whom this incident occurs? When causes are there, an effect manifests. I ignite a lighter and flame pops up. And I distinguish it. And somewhere, another gentleman will ignite it. And will this flame goes to that? Then what happens? Due to causes, this flame occurs. Due to causes, that flame occurs. No one was there who is fixed. That's how we can apply the theory of cause and effects into your life. Because whatever happens, that's an incident. The mind is an incident. Next week I will talk about this a little bit further. This is the mind, and this mind is an incident. It needs its causes to manifest. When causes are there, it manifests. When causes are there, not there, it doesn't manifest. That's the only theory you can apply. Then, who has been there from your childhood to now? Perhaps you can say, "Now my soul was there, but soul couldn't perceive anything here." Anything here? Then, whether it exists or not, it's useless. Because it couldn't perceive anything in between these two minds. Until the mind is created, it doesn't know anything, even if it exists. Then how do you feel that you have been there from your childhood to now? Because when the mind is created, the ego is created as well. When the mind is created, the ego is created. When the mind is created, the ego is created. This is also not continuous, it is also discrete. This comes as a package. When the mind is created, at the same time, parallelly, this also occurs. Therefore, when something perceived, the ego also is created, and the ego thinks, oh, I could say now you feel that, you perceive that, because of the ego. Now, the ego is created here and here and here. Therefore, you feel that you have been there and experiencing different things. Because this is the same ego that has been creating. Therefore, you always feel that I have been there and I have been experiencing these things. Therefore, now expectations are also in the mind. Therefore, the ego expects something happen in the future as well. Because the ego believes that something happened in the past Because whatever the incident that occurred, the ego thinks that happened to it. That's why you always think that man hit me, I'm going to kill him. That means you always run from the past to the future. You can't stop in the present. If you stop in the present, you will experience beauty of the world. That's why if you can remember, Angulimala, when Angulimala runs behind the Buddha, he asked from the Buddha to stop. The Buddha said, I'm all ready. You are running. He was running from where to where? From the past to the future. That's the jail, that's the prison. If you run from the past to the future, you can't find any end. You won't be able to stop yourself. There is only one station that you can stop yourself. That's the present. Which means, when the causes are there, that is called present. The present means not the present that you exist. The present means when the causes are there, or the moment that we can apply the theory of cause and effect. That is called the present. When you are there, actually, you have stopped yourself. When you come to that point, you will realize that time is an illusion. The Buddha's Dhamma is akalika. Akalika means not sarvakalika, which means eternity. Akalika means time doesn't apply. Time is not applicable. Time is not applicable. That's why I told you the present means not now. The present means where the present, actually I can't explain that. Because if you had to experience that, how can I explain it? It's like we explain the color white to a blind man. How can you experience? How can you help him to experience the color white? To a blind man. There's a very nice story among Sinhalese people. A blind man wanted to eat curd. Then he asked, because he can't see, he asked about the color. Then the other person said that it's like, what is the name of crane? It's like crane. Crane means that crane, the animal, bird. Then, but even he can't understand that. Therefore, that man wanted to help him. Then he said that it's like this. Then the blind man touched his arm. Oh, I can't eat that. It will be stuck in my throat. Therefore, when I talk about the present, I can't explain that. Because when I explain the present, you will create yourself and you will put yourself in the present. You will experience the present when you eradicate the ego. However, I think we have discussed a lot today. Try to apply these things into your life. Try to come out of this jail, because that jail is created by your own mind, your own defilements. That's why the Buddha said, Ye raga rattanu patanti sotan sayankatam makkatako vajala. It's like a cobweb. A cobweb is created by the spider. It creates that, and it is stuck there because it uses that to move here and there. It can't come out of that. This is sayankatang, which means you have created your own jail. When you feel the past, the present and the future, that's the jail that you can't come out. If you can eradicate that jail, that means if you can eradicate these 3 times by becoming akalika, by experiencing timelessness, which means by understanding the theory of cause and effect, how does everything manifest, and you will be free. That is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. The theory of cause and effect. It's a very deep philosophy, but that is applied to everything. That is applied to everything, and it erases all the things. This is not a thing, and this is not a thing. These two are the same. If these two are the same, you all are the same. When you understand that, you won't discriminate. Until that, you will discriminate. This is the only way we can unite the world. We can unite the world by understanding that the world is not separated. Actually, the world is not separated. Your mind, your defiled mind, I would say, your mind is nature, the kingdom of heaven, Paramatma. But your defiled mind, your defilements, they separate it. Actually, this separation happens in your mind, because you are the only entity that feels your existence, and you think that I also exist. Therefore, in your mind, we all are separated. That's how when you see your daughter, your son, your children, you feel something different than other children. Don't you feel that? Do you really think that it happens to me also when I see your daughter, your son? No. That happens only to you. That separation happens in the mind. If it happens in the world, then we should also feel the same. When we see your children, then we should feel the same. But we don't feel the same. When you see your daughter, you feel the same. When you see your daughter, you feel the other way. That means in your mind, you separate the world. That's why you want to unite the world. To be honest, I don't want to unite the world. Therefore, I don't try. I try to help you to understand that the world is the same. Then you will stop uniting the world. Otherwise, you will spend another 100 years Another 100 years to what? To unite the world. But we always bless people who try to unite the world. But we know the truth. Do you really think that people can unite the world? Come, you and me. Let's unite the world. You and me. Let's unite the world. That means you strongly believe that you are a separate entity and I'm a separate entity, and you discriminate between us and you are going to unite the world. No, it never happened. One day you will unite the world by understanding the truth. Until that, you will be in a jail which is created by you, your own defiled mind. Therefore, the only solution is to purify your mind, which means to stop the process of the ego. The ego separates the world. That happens in the mind. Therefore, I would say, don't try to unite the world, ladies and gentlemen. When you try to unite the world, when you try to unite something, it's not united, or something is not separated. By doing so, you try to separate that even more. Don't try to do that. Teach others the truth. Then when I teach this, like right now you feel that you are a separate entity, then if I teach you the truth, then you won't feel that anymore. Then if you won't feel that, then you won't try to unite, because you know that everything is the same. There are good people, ladies and gentlemen. There are good people and bad people, and people who have understood the truth. These are the three categories. Bad people always think that the world is separated and they want to separate the world. And good people, they feel that the world is separated and they try to unite. But people who have understood the truth, they will stay calm, stay placid, because the world is not separated. Therefore, we don't have to do anything to the world. It stays the same. Understand, then it will set you free. Otherwise, you will fight, ladies and gentlemen, because you are a good people. You are good people. You are a good person. Therefore, you will fight against bad, because you want good to be, or good to exist in the world. But when you realize this, you won't see any good or bad. You will see the same. That's how you will experience the kingdom of heaven. Nature or Paramatma. Let's discuss more next week. This is wonderful, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about the truth. And at the same time, if you can understand this and if you can contemplate with that, actually, you will experience the kingdom of heaven. You won't feel that separation, and you will experience your own mind. I'll see you next week. May the blessings of the Noble Triple Gem be with you all.